What is up, everybody? My name is Maddie, and you're listening to No Nerds Were Harmed. This is a podcast about movies, comics, games, and all things nerdy. I'm here with my co-host, Tyler.
What's up?
We're also here with our producer, Sam.
Hello.
Tyler, let everybody know what we got going on for them today.
Today is a very special episode. We are doing something we haven't done in a while, which is a FANcast, and B, we're FANcasting the DC Justice League. Pretty big one. We've talked a lot of shit, if you will, about the other DC. So now we're getting our shot at our DC. In addition to that, we're bringing on our first guest. First guest that we've had since me.
That's true. True.
My very good friend, producer, director, writer, and DC Batman fanatic, Jordon Foss. So, welcome, Jordan, to the No Nerds Were Harmed podcast.
Yes, welcome.
Hey, how you doing? How you guys doing today?
We're
Fantastic. No pun intended.
Hope it's nice and chilly out there.
I knew you'd like that one, Tyler.
That was,
This is exciting. This is very exciting because, so Jordan, you and Tyler have known each other for a while now. You guys met in college, right?
Yes, sir.
Freshman year.
We lived pretty much in the same two buildings. Like we were
Same like complex.
It's been
like 2011, yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say
12
how many
years,
years?
12 years.
Wow, very cool. So I know a bit about you, Jordan, through Tyler. There's a tie-in at least once per episode where you're mentioned. Where you're mentioned, and I'm like, man, I gotta meet Jordan. I gotta know who the fuck he's talking about. For people who don't know you, for listeners, tell them a little bit about yourself. You know, what projects you might have worked on, or what you're proud of, how you got into the game.
Well, first of all, I just want to say I'm a huge fan of the podcast. I just want to say out loud, the first time I saw Sam in real life, I fanned out. You know, so this is a huge experience for me, meeting a fellow producer. You know, we don't get enough credit, enough love. Appreciate you, Sam. Thank you for the facts.
I appreciate you too.
You definitely don't know me, but you will absolutely love me, I promise. You'll know some of my work, possibly from Netflix. I've got two films on Netflix currently. One is called Coffee and Kareem with Ed Helms and Taraji P. Henson. It is the dirtiest child movie you'll ever see in your life, so I'd be very scared. But it's actually a very funny movie. I hope you enjoy it. And then my other film is a movie about a dirty priest named Father Stu, starring Mark Wahlberg. It's a great film with Mel Gibson co-starring. So we had the Passion of the Christ himself on set. And, you know, it's a very special movie. It's a beautiful film, and I'm really proud of that one as well, both on Netflix currently.
Oh yeah, awesome! Congrats on those. That's awesome. Say it's on Netflix. That's a big deal.
It is.
Thank you. Honestly, Father Stu was my first time having a movie in theaters. And I was still more excited by the fact that it went to Netflix and how many people reacted to seeing it. Because people don't realize how many people at home have Netflix.
Yeah.
And when something goes wide, it really goes wide when it gets Netflix.
That's when it hit me. Like, I mean, I had already seen it in theaters, but when you turn on Netflix and it gives you like the top 5 of the week or whatever, and that was like number 1 or 2, it's like, holy shit. Like,
That's what I was gonna say,
crazy. But again,
bar.
it's that streaming, we're part of the streaming era. So that's like almost as good as being on the top of the box bar. I know it's not money wise, but it feels just as big.
Hell yeah. Everyone check those out. So I was curious, because I know that you're a nerd. Obviously, look behind you, look on your chest. So you're a big nerd. What are your favorite nerddoms, or what are your biggest nerddoms, would you say? Like, are you into anime? Yeah. Are you a gamer? Are you a Lord of the Rings guy? Harry Potter? Like all that stuff?
You know, I have been told many a time that I'm the Batman guy for a lot of people. A lot of people call me the Batman guy. And I can tell it permeates because everybody showed up today with their Batman t-shirt on. You know, I can see Maddie's got the Batman, you know, long sleeve. I can see Sam's got the Batman onesie on. Even, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Berg broke out his dad's Batman '89 shirt. Clearly, you know,
that's right, dude.
Took that one out of the hand-me-down section. So, you know, it's one of those things where Batman permeates through, obviously, you know, so many mediums, and he's my favorite character for sure. I am a huge Star Wars guy as well. Love Star Wars. You know, big sucker also for James Bond. I adore James Bond. That's my goal as a producer, as a writer, creator, is to work on a James Bond movie.
While on that note, then, who's been your favorite James Bond?
Daniel Craig. I mean, it's hard to compete with someone.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
He's got a story. He's got an entire arc through 5 films.
And
And
let's not shade away too. You're quite the wrestling guy.
Oh my God. I
don't want that to go unnoticed.
AEW.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. You're quite the wrestling guy. So
I am a huge wrestling fan. Wrestling is what got me into the entertainment industry.
How long have you been into wrestling?
You know what? I can tell you very specifically. It's from 1997 when I saw Undertaker fight Mankind in a Buried Alive match.
Okay.
And I thought it was a little horror movie, but it was live.
I think we all had smoke machines and everything after that whole era.
Oh yeah. There was a whole era of people wanting to just walk around in brown pants, white, like dirty shirts and ties, looking like a mangled Leatherface. Yeah, Mr. Sacco. I'm a huge rock fan. I'm a sucker for any rock movie. Black Adam.
For listeners to know, as well as Jordon being one of Tyler's best friends, for the collateral of you listening and saying, why do I care about what this guy thinks? Like he said, he's a huge Batman fan. He's also created multiple episodes of a Batman fan film that Tyler has also starred in. And it is called Nightmare. And they are all on YouTube. So obviously, big DC Batman fan. What pulled you exactly to make a Batman fan film over all the other heroes and villains that are out there, even in the Batman universe and any universe, really? What pulled you to Batman?
I had the really lucky experience when Batman v Superman came to Detroit to film, that I got to see how they made a $400 million movie. They put it on the books at $250 million. But you have to understand, when it takes that many years to make a film, there is so much prep that goes into those movies. There's so many sets that got built and torn down. You get a really grand appreciation for what it is that goes behind like a blockbuster movie. And at the end of the experience, I remember coming out of it and saying, as a Batman fan, I wanted more, I wanted more from that. And me and Burke, we have always talked about making fan films. We talked about Star Wars fan films for years. It was one of those things where the craven nature of seeing how they made a Batman movie and then knowing there was a Batman movie always somewhere deep inside me, it really propelled me to say, well, what would mine be? What would my Batman story be? And taking advantage of Detroit was one of the big things that really also pushed me. It's like they made a movie in Detroit and it's Gotham City, but it doesn't look like Gotham City to me. Like Detroit looks like Gotham. And I want to show that. And then, once again, there's just a craven hunger to like make things, and I always say, when you want to make a short film, it's really hard to make a short film and get it seen by people. It's really hard. But when you make a fan film, it has a built-in audience. And you see now so many great YouTubers that are turning into fantastic filmmakers, and it's because a lot of them started with their fan films. If you look at someone like not Mark Webb, who's the guy who made the new Spider-Man movies, nonetheless, he's someone who started making, films on YouTube. So some of the best actors and filmmakers of our era in this new phase are people who are coming from, the same humble beginnings, which are fan films.
Yeah. Like I said, everybody, you can check that out on YouTube. You can see Tyler up on there as Red Hood, which is badass.
Obviously, we've known each other for a long time, and we've done a lot of our professional stuff for a long time. But I'm going to ask you now, what was your favorite project that we did together in college?
In college.
How many were there as well in college?
A lot.
You see, both of us.
That says it right there.
Our house.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Known as like a little studio.
Correct.
And we made over a dozen short films in that house.
Easy.
But even just from like people who came in looking for a place to shoot as well. And there's so many nights where I can think of Burke, where I was like, Burke, we're doing something tonight. I need you to film something tonight. And he was like, Jordon, this is not fair. I am not just, a prop. Like, I can't just be pulled
specifically, he's tiptoeing around. He one night came into my room, like, as I'm writing a paper, being like, hey man, like, I need you for this. You're perfect for this role. Because he's always trying to position it like, yo, this is an artistic opportunity. And it's like, yo, we're gonna go to this kid's house and I need you to dig this hole. And I showed up and like literally, like, no one had dug the hole like an actual movie. He's like, yeah, we're just like, damn, we're just gonna dig the hole. And it was like 3-4 hours in, and it was just like the worst shoot. It was all night, like me and 2 other people. And then at the end, like, they didn't even use the footage. It was just like a project that just went to waste. And I remember that night Jordan just being like, I'm sorry. On the way home, like, covered in dirt. Like,
yeah. He looked like Mankind. He looked like he had just came out of that Buried Alive match with Undertaker. I mean, it's too easy to say Wanted because I feel like Wanted we did so well, you know. We made a little Western movie and we just knew we wanted to make a fun Western. We knew we wanted to shoot a bunch of people and run around and wear cool outfits in a cool location and, you know, pop guns. And it was a lot of fun, you know. That was what you want. And everything that can happen on a set happened. You know, we had a horse that decided to jump up and stomp on one of our actors' boots. We had locations that decided to riot while we were shooting. We had a whole festival of motorcyclists or like cowboys came in.
Yeah, it was the weekend they told us it was cool to shoot was the weekend they had their like cowboy poker event or whatever. So like we're trying to film a movie and there's like literally 50, 70 people, cowboys in this bar just like hooting and hollering. Dude,
shooting guns.
Yeah.
Like horses going wild in the background. And like
it's a good one.
It was fun.
And we're what, 20, 21?
Yeah, you shot over like 35 short films?
Yeah, like 30, 40 short films while I was at Arizona. Everyone was partying. I was out making shitty movies, dude.
Yeah, and it was really one of those things where, you know, 35 short films, I'm going to quantify your short films. If you got paid SAG rates, that's $35,000.
Well, yeah.
But that's how much free labor he was giving during college, because that's what you are. You're just working with other people. You're putting yourself out
trying
there.
to make connections and figure it out.
Everybody's got a ham sandwich. Like, hey, there's no food. Like, we got a ham sammy and, you know, maybe some weed if you're really
I was going to say, maybe a little bit of weed if the shoot went good and you guys were friends. Maybe a little bit of weed. That was about it.
And that's just getting the experience as well, because you're like... Now
we work with over 20 people that we made films with in college. We've worked with them in some kind of capacity.
Still,
yeah, because I mean, you know, Jordan, you said that, you know, you're directing, you're writing, you're editing. Every time you do a new one, you're like, oh shit, you know, I'm never gonna do that again. You learn something that you're not gonna do. You're not gonna make that mistake twice. So you guys are just getting that experience, which is fucking awesome. Because a lot of people don't take that chance to make that film that might have been, I don't want to make that. It's gonna be shit, but even though you knew it was going to be shit, you're like, I need the experience. I need to do this shit.
You don't know it's shit until you've gotten to the other side. There's a great quote from Martin Scorsese that he says, if you don't look at your rough cut after you shot a movie and think you're a fraud, you didn't do it correctly. So, you know, part of the process is feeling like, okay, whatever we put together clearly isn't working. But I've been on enough sets also with Burke where we get to the rough cut and it starts cutting together and you're like, we got something here. Like, this is, I don't feel like a fraud. I feel like I might have actually pulled something off here. And those are the real days, you know, those are like the real, you know, blessings. And also, and I love to say this too, whether you're on those little no budget college sets or you're on a $400 million movie, the air on set is still the same.
I agree. You know? I agree with that. It's a weird thing, but it's true.
What's next for Jordon Foss? What's going on in the future?
So I just wrapped writing a screenplay called Black Spines, and Burke and I are working to shoot a feature film this March. It'll be my directorial debut. It's a very personal script about a high school photographer who is investigating a murder in a small town, but when mysterious tapes lead him to believe his parents are responsible, Cameron will have to reckon with his family's darkest secrets. It's a really nice, dark thriller horror film, you know, and it's very personal to me. It's a story about a young man and his relationship with his father. So it's very exciting for me, you know, can't wait to get started on that. We start casting in the next 2 weeks and, you know, we have 8 weeks of prep and then we've got 4 weeks of shooting. Got to maximize our time and I can't wait to have Burke out here in Los Angeles to shoot a movie.
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
It would be good.
We're going to head off to our nerd news, guys. And Jordan, tag along. You're on here with us, so chime in whenever you want. Mark Hamill did a recent interview with Empire, and he expressed that he kind of doubts that he will ever voice the Joker ever again due to Kevin Conroy passing away. And that's sad. I mean, I understand it.
The quote.
It's sad.
This is the quote. And after the quote, it's like you can't hate the guy at all.
Mm-mm.
they would call me and say that you want to do the Joker. My only question was, is Kevin Conroy Batman? Without Kevin there doesn't seem to be a Batman for me. And that's like...
He's got a point.
Dude,
got a point.
When you've been being that Batman for 20 plus years, and that Joker for 20 plus years, and that's his Batman, and that's his rock, where while Mark branched out and kind of did correct, and while Mark branched out and did his own things, he used Kevin as his litmus test of this, like, Batman content came calling. Mark's first question was, well, is Kevin doing it? If Kevin's doing it, I'm in, because I know it's legit Batman shit. Yeah. If he's not doing it, then we have to actually talk about this. And that's like, so now that that's gone, I mean, I respect the move, and that's my Joker. That's a lot of people's Jokers, you know, like that is their Joker, and I'm a Joker guy. I can't hate on it. I respect the move, because like I kind of agree in a weird way.
He's got one great benefit to him, which is every time I read one of these books and I see Joker in it, his voice is the voice I will always
Great fucking point.
when I read it.
Great fucking point.
Yeah, same with Batman. Same with Kevin Conroy.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I read a lot of Batman, and it's always Kevin Conroy's voice every time.
That's a very good point.
People don't know this, but the whole idea of, I am vengeance, I am the night, I am Batman, that comes from the very first episode of Batman the Animated Series.
Yep.
That line, that's Kevin Conroy. Yep. And here we are today with the movie like The Batman, him saying, I'm vengeance. And it starts with a voice actor, in a booth, and making it something that in the day resonates still 30 years later.
Interesting kind of news. Rami Malek is supposedly casted as Buster Keaton, which I don't know if you guys know who Buster Keaton is, but he's kind of like, he's a really famous actor from back in the day. He's like from the Charlie Chaplin silent film eras. He's like one of the greatest stunt actors ever, because he did all the like these stunts for real, because back then they couldn't really fake it. So there's a couple optical illusions, but realistically, the dude was risking his life for cinema like every day. That's what and he was the best to do it. And Rami Malek's supposed to play him, which honestly, great fucking pick, because they look very close when you put them in black and white. And Matt Reeves is supposed to direct it. It's supposed to be a limited series on HBO.
I'm glad you brought this up. Because I saw John Campea on his podcast talk about this, because he said this is a good reason to let Matt Reeves go from Batman 2 if he's too busy working on the Buster Keaton thing. And I thought that was the craziest thing I've ever heard. Let Matt Reeves cook. Let Matt Reeves make a Buster Keaton show and learn what he can learn from the slapstick humor of that. And then take all those great action set piece stunts and bring it to the
1,000%, because it sounds like it's not just like a straight biopic show too. Like it's gonna have some information in it, and like
I believe Buster Keaton's also the one who had the side of the house fall, and the window surrounded him.
Yes, so that's his like one of his big famous stunts. Or he's riding on the train and he has the big logs and he's like hitting the railroad tracks in as the train's on it. So like if he fucks that up, the train derails and he could die, kind of thing. Like, yeah. So that's his famous like. So it's a biopic that's way past due for the industry, because like people like. Actors, any movement actor, the first thing you study is fucking Buster Keaton. But I don't think this is going to take any kind of precedence over Batman or get him away from Batman. Like, I sure as fuck hope not, because again...
And you said this is planned to be a series, possibly?
Yeah, it's a short-run series, so it'll be some kind of HBO exclusive. It's very early in the works, but the big thing was Rami being cast as Buster Keaton, which again, I think that's actually a pretty good pick.
As long as it's better than Freddie Mercury, we're good.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not gonna hate on that. That's a whole different fucking episode that we could go into. But like again, like he'll be all right. He'll be all right as Buster Keaton. It'll be cool, especially in a biopic type thing. Yeah,
dude could act.
And like I said,
he can act. How he looks.
I don't think this is about to be like Elvis, the Buster Keaton version. Like this is gonna be much more informative, like about that kind of stuff. So. We'll see.
The difference in creator between Matt Reeves and Baz Luhrmann couldn't be more different.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually so true. Paced. Yeah.
Baz Luhrmann is like hitting the gas, taking a
jazz in your face.
Jazz in your face.
Yep.
The Titans and Doom Patrol show are on their last season. I know that's going to upset some people, but for me, end of the era, baby. Burn it all fucking down. Let's have everyone available. Everything's new. We're getting rid of the CW bullshit. Flash is coming to the end. ever or whatever's going on is coming to the end. Yeah, Flash, right? It's the last season of Flash.
Yeah.
That's
it's all
ending.
the last seasons.
We need to end all that shit and start clean, dude. I'm done with it. Start doing Titan movies, my guys.
Those are successful shows, though, right? Like people
they
love
are.
Titans.
They have a big
Doom Patrol.
Again, I can't say I'm a fan. I haven't really seen anything. I watched a couple things of Titans and did not like it at all. I hear Doom Patrol's
really
pretty good.
Doom Patrol.
I was gonna say I think
really
Jordan likes Doom Patrol. But
well, at least they'll go out on a good foot. Then.
Correct. That's fine. Give the fans what they want, but I'm glad the shit's coming to an end. Like, let's start wrapping up all this shit and let's actually have a fresh launch, dude.
Damn, Superman and Lois.
I completely agree. No. Well, maybe it is. Hopefully, I mean, Gotham Knights.
Well, that Gotham Knights is supposed to be coming out. I can't believe I thought that was canceled. I agree. Now it's back. I don't know how the fuck it's back. The new trailer looks terrible. So,
it did look really bad.
I can't believe that's still coming. I thought that was a joke and it was done. So we'll see what happens with that.
It says that Superman and Lois has been renewed for a third season, which starts March 14th.
They're not going to cut them all at the same time, so that's all right. Yeah. But again, we got rid of 2 of them again, and I just want Titans to get a level up. Like Titans is high quality, good content that you could be doing with the Teen Titans, and I feel it's kind of wasted on that show. So I hope they figure that out either in show form or movie form.
That's usually the good news when it comes to canceling things like this, because DC and Warner Brothers are notorious for not wanting to have things on TV at the same time that they're in the movies. So if they're canceling a successful show like Doom Patrol, it's only because they have bigger plans for it. If they're canceling something like Titans, no matter how successful the ratings might be or how much people lament against the story, that means they have bigger plans for it. And I think that gets me really, really excited because I think we're all overdue for some good respect to a lot of these characters. And I think at the same time, a lot of them, like Cyborg should be on a show like Titans, just like he should be on a show like Doom Patrol. Like there shouldn't be a reason why they're on separate programs. These characters they're an ecosystem. They should be together.
We have a few trailers that we wanted to talk about. The first one is Scream 6.
Yeah.
Looks great.
So not a bad trailer, to be honest. It's not a terrible trailer.
I fucking hate it.
Really?
Oh, no way.
I hate it.
I don't think the trailer's bad.
First off, I don't like that Ghostface uses a gun. I don't like this New York City feel opposed to Woodsboro. I don't like that there's so many fucking characters that survive the 5th movie and is coming back in the 6th one. I don't like that Gale Weathers has a house phone, because who the fuck has a house phone nowadays?
That's actually the truest point you've said so far. That's actually hilarious.
You got that one.
I'll give you that one. That's actually hilarious.
I'm watching this too, and I'm like, I don't believe that Neve Campbell's not in this movie. So I believe that Sydney is the head. She's in charge of whoever the fuck these. I'm a new kind of killer.
That'll be so funny if Ghostface is her and they paid her under the table and made this whole publicity bullshit of her not making money.
I don't think she's Ghostface. I don't think she's Ghostface because I had a fucking big problem when Emma Roberts, spoiler people, when Emma Roberts ended up being Ghostface and she took off the mask and you're like, but it was a quick shot before she reveals herself that you're like, why the fuck did Ghostface just shrink 7 to 8 inches? It looked too fucking weird. So I don't think that she's going to be Ghostface, but I do think that she's the mastermind behind what's going to be going on in the 6th film.
I think it's pretty obvious that Hayden Panettiere does not cost as much money as Neve Campbell. And that's exactly why we're about to see Hayden Panettiere's return into the Scream franchise. Like, it's pretty obvious when I saw the trailer, like, oh, they intended Neve Campbell to be the character who does that shot. But they didn't want to pay her. They don't want to afford an actress of her caliber, I guess. And no hate towards Hayden Panettiere. If anything, good for her. She's been where has she been for the last few years?
Yeah.
I hope she, starts her renaissance and makes a nice comeback off this. But yeah, it was one of those things where I'm totally okay with Scream going in a new direction with new characters, because in the day, you can only kill the same people so many times, before it starts to get a little bit silly, And I think with the last one, Scream 5, I had a great time. The fact that they got Jenna Ortega to come back before she starts becoming the biggest, highest paid actress of her age range was really good for them. I just, I have no idea where the stories can go from here.
Yeah.
I really like Scream 1. I even Scream 2, but like after that I fell off on Scream big time. So I'm not like a big Scream guy and don't have any skin in the game. So from the trailer though, I was surprised for a 6th movie of a franchise. The trailer looked a little more appealing to me than a lot of other 6th movie of the franchises, if that makes sense.
I thought the posters looked great too.
Oh, what they're doing with the posters, that's graphic design genius. See, where they're doing subway lines and shit like that. The subway line, yeah. Like that kind of shit is next level marketing genius.
Yeah, I won't see it in theaters, but I don't see horror in theaters.
It'll be a movie club thing.
Little bitch.
Probably.
I think horror movies are too predictable. That's why I don't see them in theaters.
Yeah, says the guy that'll sit out and read spoilers all day, dude.
I love spoilers. Yeah, I love to be spoiled. Yeah, but no, I'm gonna see this movie because I've seen them all. It's the same with like the Saw franchise. I've seen them all. I have to fucking see it. I have to know what's going on. But I don't like it. I haven't liked them since the first one. The first one was the only one that I liked. But
it's fair.
I'm definitely excited for it. I don't know why, but for some reason Scream 6 has me more interested.
Scream 6 is March 10th.
But the other trailer that we want to talk about was the Mandalorian Season 3 trailer.
Yeah.
This trailer was badass.
Yeah.
I am so excited for what this 3rd season.
We're going to Mandalore, dude. What every like Star Wars nerd has just wanted to do forever is go to Mandalore, and I do think we're gonna get a good amount of Grogu in this too. And I'm a Baby Yoda fan, so I like him. I don't care what anyone says, and I'm down for him to fucking ride along on some adventures. Like again, my dream is they make him Baby Yoda fucking Mando armor. Like I want a mini fucking bounty hunter that wields the Jedi fucking force. Oh, dude. Yes. I have so much fan art in my phone about it. I think that would be the most badass shit of all time. So this is one step closer. So I'm all in for it, dude.
I was stoked to see new footage from like Order 66 that's going to be happening. I was like, whoa. Because this is all tying in from like they showed Order 66 shit from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series as well. It's like, we're getting a little bit of this Order 66 story.
They're starting to try to repair the holes that they created years ago. And that's what... They're not holes, I guess, but they're just starting to try to really paint the pictures that they want it to be. Star Wars, like, is the king of, like, their main content is always kind of suspect and monumental, but then, like, their side content just helps build their fucking world so much that, like, that's what Mandalorian does. And the other shows, you can hate Kenobi, you can hate fucking Boba Fett, all that, whatever, but like Mando is one of those side shows that is just building the fuck out of the Star Wars universe, and I love it, dude.
Well, Andor was the tits too. I
have not started Andor, but I know Andor is supposed to be very, very,
real good. So. We liked it a lot.
This is all really cool, but none of this matters when it comes to fucking Baby Yoda putting on some Mando fucking armor and suiting the fuck up and going to war with Big Mando hand in hand, my dudes, because that's where we're going. I don't give a fuck about Andor. He has
to use the Force to put his own Mandalorian helmet on.
I'm telling you,
absolutely.
It's coming. It's coming, and he's going to get a lightsaber at some point because he's going to get that Yoda lightsaber. Luke's going to get soft and give him that lightsaber at some point. And we're gonna have a fucking band. We're gonna have a Mandalorian bounty hunter Jedi Baby Yoda, and I'm here for it, dude. And I hope this season is one step closer. This season is one step closer to that goal. Is there a date on Mando?
March 1st.
March 1st. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Say we're gonna be on the cruise ship. We're gonna be on the cruise ship, so
yes, dude.
We're gonna have to. I hope they show it in the cruise ship.
We're gonna come home.
I can't wait.
Binge.
That'll be dope. Cool. March 1st, Mandalorian Season 3.
And then some things that people could watch that are coming out. So tomorrow on February 1st, everyone could watch Wakanda Forever is going to be on Disney Plus, which we covered that. You want to check that out? February 3rd, Knock at the Cabin comes out in theaters. And we're stoked for this one. We will be covering this.
We will.
This will be later on in the month.
We're gonna cover that later in the month. So we're gonna give you kind of like we did with Nope. We're gonna give you guys some time to see it, and then we'll do the episode instead of doing it like an opening weekend type thing.
That's right. And then the last thing comes out on the 10th, February 10th. This is called Your Place or Mine. This is a Netflix movie. It's a romantic comedy with Reese Witherspoon and Ashton Kutcher. Looks pretty interesting. Looks like it's going to be very predictable because it's romantic comedy, but I think Ashton Kutcher is made for romantic comedies, so that's on the 10th. The last piece that I have for nerd news, though, is going to tie into our fan cast, and it's kind of for people who aren't paying attention to DC news and what's happening right now, it's a little bit of a recap. So DC has been taken over by James Gunn and Peter Safran. They're kind of redoing everything. I was kind of hoping for something a little more substantial because they said they were going to release something big or some more news in January, and they haven't done it by this recording, so that kind of sucks. But spoilers, everybody. Spoilers, listeners. They brought Henry Cavill back for Black Adam for a scene. Got all of our dicks hard, and then
I told you that's the best scene of that fucking movie, dude. Superman has never looked better in the suit than he does in that fucking 35 seconds that he's in that screen.
Yeah.
And by the time I had seen Black Adam, I already had known the DC's done, because it's all had already happened. Yeah. So I'm sitting there watching it, and it's the first moment of like, oh my God. We really are losing like one of the best Supermen that we probably have ever going to have or see, because like in that moment, he was just perfect. The way he talked, the way he looked, everything about him in that little scene is perfect. And it just was like the extra kick in the nuts that the DCEU could give you. Cause it wasn't even like the mustache CGI version of Cavill that we had the last image of. If that's how they ended it, perfect ending. But the fact they ended him with looking like literally the beacon of hope, crushes your soul,
real.
Dude.
He looked real. Superman was real for like 30 seconds.
When they had the little score, when they had the score in the background of it too, I was like, oh, that's great.
I'm telling you, it ripped your heart out.
But so the shield was so gold. The shield was so
gold. It was
gold.
perfect.
It glittered. It glittered.
But they gave it to us, and then they took it away. Something else that's going on is that they canceled Wonder Woman 3, but they haven't said that Gal Gadot is done with Wonder Woman.
That's the problem with all this, is they're not like, the way I look at it, and this is just my opinion, a lot. It's not hidden how I feel about the DCEU and specifically Snyder fans. The Snyder fans on Twitter, the cult, not just people who enjoy Snyder films. I'm talking about who the fuck you are. If you're getting rid of Cavill and you're axing Superman, you other guys don't have a shot in fucking hell of sticking around. You know what I mean? So the fact like Henry or
Zachary Levi
was on Twitter talking shit about like, don't believe everything you hear. Like, homie, no offense, like, but come on, like, if Cavill's getting that phone call, you guys are gonna get that phone call at some point. And if you don't, like, what the fuck are we doing? Why would Henry be out? So I don't know. So, and now
on that note, we're gonna see Batman, or we're gonna see Batfleck one more time with the Flash, is what we're hearing. But after that, he's gone. Ezra Miller, we have no idea what's going on with him.
No idea.
Dude, the fact he's not been publicly fired in the situation and mess he's gotten into, and he's like supposed to be an actual superhero. I'm not saying if you play a superhero, you have to be a perfect human, but you can't be like an active deviant and like be a role model for children and be like an actual superhero. Like, what are we? It's like he literally is someone from The Boys. It's like he is a superhero from The Boys. It's like, what the fuck? So it's another thing. It's like, there's so many unanswered crazy questions, which it's like, we just need to start being like, all right, done. Here's the new slate. Like, that's what I'm waiting for James Gunn to just say. Like, and it's going to be hard. And I'm sure he's having a lot of hard conversations about things like that. Again, with Jason fucking Momoa, who's the one that's spearheading all this and kind of making me a little angry. Like, I like Jason Momoa. I don't like him as Aquaman. And I don't like how he's handled all of this as far as like...
Yes. So what Tyler's referring to, listeners, is that Jason Momoa recently came out with a video and he's leaving the house. He's leaving the premises of a place and he's talking into his phone. He's very excited.
It's WB Studios.
Is a studio? It looks like
a because he's talking to the guards.
That's how they build that place.
Yeah, he's talking about like he's talking to the guards at WB Studios about how, you remember when I last walked out of here, I did a yell, and he's like, and then he does the yell. So it's like to imply either Aquaman's still going, which is everyone's worst nightmare. Let's just say it. We all know that's not going to be. We're not in a good shape with Aquaman, and he even has come out and been like, "Yo, please give me Lobo. Like, I don't want to play Aquaman anymore. I want to play Lobo." So it's like,
yeah.
The fact he comes out of that meeting and starts like woohooing is like, it's just showing like, okay, is Aquaman continuing? Is now Lobo on the slate? Which is, again, Lobo's a cool character.
He says in the video that he's got another 4 years. So whatever the contract is with him is another 4 years, because he says in that video. And then he says he gives like a cheers to the future. He can't tell us all because it's a secret. I was pretty sure that they were canceling everything DC up until I saw that video. And we're all like, why haven't they canceled The Flash yet? And my take is that maybe there's something in this new Flash movie that is going to fix what is going on. I think that there's a possibility that Barry's going to travel to another world. Like maybe our world is going to die, so he travels to another Earth, which would mean that everybody's not the same people who they are, which is why James Gunn said they're going for a younger Superman. And it's fine, because then it would be erasing everything that we know on Earth 1. Whatever Earth he goes to at the end of this Flash movie will be its own thing. And he could end up dying because there would be a different Flash. It could be any other Flash. Wally West. It could be anybody.
I'm telling you right now.
They wouldn't have to hit the reset. They would just know that everything is done.
I'm telling you right now, if they try to just band-aid this fucking thing like they've been trying to do for the last 15 years, it is going to blow up in their face again when they're fucking $100 billion in debt 10 years down the road, and they're looking at another LLLL against Marvel's WWWWs. If you start keeping these guys around off this broken fucking franchise that no one gives a shit about other than like the hardcore rabid fans, like people, the numbers aren't there. Black Adam didn't make shit.
Yeah, that's the real struggle.
People
if a movie like Black Adam can't make movie, that's really scary. Yeah,
like it's just
if you make less money than Justice League, it's not good.
I'm telling you, and I think James Gunn is smarter than this, man. I don't
think they'd be putting a Band-Aid. It wouldn't necessarily be putting a Band-Aid on it. It would just be an easier way to explain to people that, hey, we didn't hit a reset. We just killed all those people on Earth 1. So that's why they can go forward on Earth 2 with,
But
this
what's
guy
the point
looks
of
like,
that versus? So like then you still
easier
have
to explain to
how
people who
of like when Jason Momoa shows up in what capacity? So in this he shows up as Aquaman again?
No, he shows up as Lobo.
If he shows up as Lobo, they could be like,
if they hit the hard reset and he shows up as Lobo, they don't have to explain shit anyways.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe it's not that at all. Maybe his video is just like, I got another contract.
That's
what
it is.
Redo this shit,
I guarantee you. I think
it'll be something else.
I think fucking Momoa wants out of Aquaman because I think he knows what the shit is going down, and he's been campaigning for Lobos for so long that, like, if anything, I think he went in there and James Gunn's like, "Yo, I like Lobo too. We're gonna do a Lobo series like 2-3 years from now," and that's why like Momoa's pumped personally. I don't think it's Aquaman shit.
Just give me a minute to dumpster fire Aquaman for you.
If you want to bring him back, it's whatever. Like, I have my own opinions about Lobo being introduced early. Like, I don't think he should be a supervillain that's brought in to be this main big guy because he's not that fucking guy, as cool of a character as he is. He's not a brainiac. He just isn't.
He's
so,
Thanos.
Like,
no.
Let's have fucking Lobo. If we're just going to have to tell fucking Momoa that Lobo's coming so everything is chill on Momoa's front, like, that's kind of where I'm taking that conversation more so went. But again, they haven't made any axes to any of the main characters publicly of, like, Gal Gadot's out. They haven't said that to anything. So it's like we're all just hanging on where this Flash movie is going to come out like it's a movie pointing to some shit. And at the end of the day, it's probably a movie that's just a movie because it's just going to be over. And I don't think anyone's going to have an issue if they come out and hard reboot this fucking thing and have a new Superman off the bat and have new main characters. Everyone's going to accept it. And if someone comes back into the fold, people aren't going to think twice about it.
I'm slightly intrigued. I do want to see it. I know I'm not going to pay to see it in theaters. I'm going to read the spoiler. Fucking the moment it's available, I'm reading the spoiler.
Tyler's like, shocker.
But I think he's gonna want me to. I think you're gonna want me to tell you the spoiler though.
I don't know.
You don't have to see
I don't know. I think I want to sit back and wait and hopefully get to watch this dump for fire happen because I've been trying to call this shit for years, man. and I just don't
The
think
scariest
there's
thing that can
nothing that can
happen.
show me that. Yeah, is ruin fucking if they dare taint Michael Keaton's fucking good name, that poster behind your back, good sir, with this fucking stupid movie. I'm gonna be so mad, man. You're never gonna hear the end of it. I swear to God, I'll be so mad.
I was gonna say the worst possible situation is somehow the Flash and Aquaman make $1 billion.
Well, if it actually makes money, then we're in actual trouble.
If those movies make money,
I agree.
We're
in trouble because now they're gonna be like, oh well, people like it, and then we're gonna be raw. Let's not even put that in the universe.
We're back at square one. We're back.
I agree.
Exactly where we started,
let's not.
Wait a minute.
But that's why I said that. That's why
if Black Adam couldn't make money with The Rock pumping it up,
that's a good point.
And
Pierce Brosnan.
That's a reach, man. That's a reach.
I never thought Aquaman would make $1 billion. I never thought
the first one. Yeah, I agree.
The first one
shouldn't have. That's what's upsetting.
But I think that was the peak of everybody wanting to see anything Jason Momoa,
correct,
especially because of Game of Thrones and stuff.
100%. He was at his peak. Mommy porn, dude.
Yeah.
That's why we're choosing to do the Justice League fan cast, is because in a recent interview, Gunn did say that his new Superman, he wanted to be younger. So just on the chance that he doesn't go younger, we decided let's do a fan cast. And I know Jordan, Tyler, you guys were talking a while back when we did our first fan cast back in May, and Jordan was like, I want to get on this Justice League one, or you said something along those lines. So we're like,
yeah, he said that he's like, if I was to be on a fan cast episode, he's like, if you guys ever do the DCEU, like Justice League, that's what I want on. So then Maddie was like, hey, we should do a DC episode, fan cast it. I was like, oh, well,
this is the hot topic right now.
Yep. The stars are aligning. So let's get in the lab and see what we have to do, because I do think we're all going to have some wild opinions and good takes, and I'm sure we all have arguments to defend our takes. So
we have our fan cast order picked ahead of time. We know our characters that we're doing, and we're going to let Jordan go first on this fan cast, and he's going to start us off with his pick for Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Yeah, the Dark Knight himself. I have a very specific pick, and it's a stance. My fan pick for this new DCEU is Robert Pattinson. It needs to be Robert Pattinson. It has to be. Okay. I remember years ago when I saw Good Time in theaters and they started talking about it won't be Ben Affleck. I talked to Burke. I said out loud, my pick is Robert Pattinson. He has been my fan pick for the last 5 years, and he killed it in his first movie. If they reboot this new DCEU, it has to start with Robert Pattinson. The Batman needs to be a part of it.
That's what I said. Start with a year 2 Batman and build up.
No, I agree. I think you bring him into the fold. That's the easiest way to fix a lot of problems and build off a fantastic foundation. Yeah, I agree. He's
but my only prior casting I'm bringing back. He's the only one. Yeah, but
that's fair.
Start with that.
That's fair. I also gave that consideration. I will tell you, I gave that heavy consideration, but I decided no, that I won't. Because. Are you done with your Robert Pattinson talk?
Yes.
Because
Robert Pattinson proved it himself.
I have one man who I've campaigned for Batman for a long time. And if I'm going to have a Batman Justice League fan cast, he's on the older side now, but I don't give a fuck. We're going John Hamm. All day long. All day long, because again, yes. Is he a Batman that has a couple years under his belt? Absolutely. I'm not, and it takes everything away from me hating like Batfleck and all that shit. There's a lot of the same components, but you're gonna tell, like, I've wanted to see that man in the cowl and to just be Bruce Wayne for a long time. So if I'm gonna get my fan cast, I'm gonna make it work where my Justice League, like I talked about before on this show, where the Batman wouldn't be the one running the show in my Justice League. He would be much more being the one that's brought into the folds here and there. He could be the older guy in the crew. John Hamm, Mad Men, The Town. He's Maverick.
In a way, he's done that with Don Draper too, because he shows how cunning and social he can be, but then also brooding. You know,
I'm telling you. So that is who I would. That's going to be my pick for Batman. John
I like that for an older Batman.
He's going to be a great Bruce Wayne. And we got to stop pretending like he has to do his own stunts either. You know, there's going to be a
exactly. That's a great fucking point.
Stunts.
Thank you.
Yeah,
great point.
Older Batman also means we get a Bat family, and we all want more Robin. We all want more Batgirl.
Good point.
We all want these things.
I want a Nightwing.
Yes, I do too. I want a Damian Wayne, and you can get to a Damian Wayne story. You can get it to a Jason Todd Under the Red Hood story with a 40, 50-year-old Batman.
Yeah.
John Hamm's good.
All right, Maddie.
All right. So Tyler knows, I'll tell you, Jordan, and listeners. So when James Gunn said that he was going younger for his Superman, I decided that I'm going to go off of that. And every one of my Justice League cast members were not born before 1990. And so they're all crazy. Younger.
I went the opposite. Mine's all in the 30s.
So my Bruce Wayne Batman is Austin Butler. People know him as the new Elvis. I think a lot of people are phased just because Elvis. I mean, the debate is that Elvis, is it a good movie? Is it a bad movie? But
he's definitely somebody that immerses himself in a character. That's for sure.
Oh, definitely. You got to think about the chin with Batman. Batman is all about that chin, and also the eyes. You know, these are the only two things that he really is allowed to emote with. Is, you know, his eyes and whatever we're given with here. You know, you look at all the different casts that we've had as Batman. Like, Ben Affleck had that perfect chin in that cast. You know, and he had that perfect glare as Batman, where he looked like he was drunk behind the Batmobile wheels at all times, and drunk with rage. I mean. So anyways, you gotta have a Batman like an Austin Butler. When I see him, he gives me that look, that glare, where I feel like this guy's got mystery. Like Robert Pattinson, they've got this air of mystery about them.
Yeah, no, it's a good pick. It's not, especially for like a younger cast. It's a good young Batman pick.
I think Tyler wins best chin in the cowl though. That John Hamm.
He's got the years on you, boys. That's why he's got those years to develop that thing, bro. I will start off Clark Kent Superman. Went back and forth for this. I had a couple people that I was really kind of in between, didn't know where I wanted to go, and I finally settled. And he's one of my younger picks, I think, because I like to think of, again, younger Superman, but he's also a fucking alien, so he can be, you know, whatever age and kind of pull it off. I'm going Henry Golding. Mm-hmm.
I don't know that name.
He's from Crazy Rich Asians and Snake Eyes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Very good.
He's got a look to him that's like very innocent, very.
He's got good guy. He's got hidden abs too, I think.
Okay, yeah, he's A Simple Favor is what I remember him from.
I like that he looks multiracial in a lot of ways as well too. Like he has that look where he's and to be like Superman, who's kind of an alien from, you know, that doesn't fit in anyways. You can play into that in a lot of ways where I think he could pull off that like Clark Kent look and be the goofy, like cleaned up kind of farmer guy. And then at the same time too, like drop that hardcore, like I'm Superman. I'm here for a better purpose. So it's a little bit of a stretch pick, but I think he'd actually pull off the S pretty well.
I love that pick. There's so much great conversation to be had about the idea of a multiracial Superman. That is very, very important, I think, to the character that people don't give enough credit to. And, you know, international appeal is really, really important nowadays. People don't realize, you know, a movie like Avatar doesn't get to $2 billion by just selling to America alone. Henry Golding was a huge hit with Crazy Rich Asians, and it, you know, was polarizing specifically for, you know, an audience that's really never had an attachment to Superman.
Look at Key from Everywhere All at Once, fucking Short Round. He was like, it wasn't until I saw Crazy Rich Asians where I was like, oh wow, I should probably see if I could get back into acting. So I didn't even think of that, but that's true. It's not a bad get to get people to show up to your fucking Superman movie.
You know who you just casted? His Jonathan Kent.
Yeah. Essentially,
you just casted Jonathan Kent right there.
Probably.
Okay.
That's funny. Yeah, so that's who I will kick it off as my Man of Steel.
So my Superman, I'm going with somebody who doesn't have much of a resume right now. But his name is Jamie Flatters. Jamie Flatters played Nateum, the older brother from Way of Water.
Yeah, I know who this is.
He also played Tedros from The School of Good and Evil that's on Netflix right now. This is going to be something that I would have to toss up on a screen because
he looks like Clark Kent.
He has a nice. He looks suave.
He looks like what's his son's name?
Wow.
What's Clark Kent's or what's Superman's son's name that wears the black T-shirt in fucking?
Yeah, Connor Kent.
Yeah, he looks
that
like
one?
him.
That's
Okay.
Superboy.
Yeah, Superboy. Okay. That's who he looks like.
Yeah, so that was the. That's why I decided to go with mine.
He's got a great look.
He looks like he could pull off the geek, Clark Kent geek, but as well as I'm gonna put the suit on and I'm gonna whoop some ass.
Got a jaw.
Yeah. Massive.
Young.
And this dude can fill out. Once they get these guys on the right amount of quote unquote
the secret sauce
vitamins. Yeah, once they get them on the right vitamins, these guys fill out these costumes real nice.
Oh yeah.
So he can put on any muscle you need him to put on. And honestly, Superman doesn't require big muscles. Like I know we love Henry Cavill for how much he fills that costume so well.
Henry Cavill's big as fuck.
Yeah, look at Brendan Routh and look at Christopher
Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Christopher Reeves never made me doubt that he could lift a car. It's all about the performance,
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's actually some appeal in having, we said the same thing though about a thin Batman. We're like, hey, Batman doesn't have to be this beefcake kind of guy.
Yeah, he proved everybody wrong and started whooping ass.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
who's your pick?
Is it my turn to pick?
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm going to go with someone who is known for being a big villain. But I'm going to go with Jacob Elordi from Euphoria.
Okay.
Jacob Elordi, he plays the mean boyfriend kind of jock bully. And he also is one of those guys, though, where I see him and I see if you can get an audience, mind you, Euphoria is the highest watched show on HBO. If you can get that many teenage women to really believe you're evil, that means you did a good job as an actor. So my theory is he's actually a really talented guy. He's also Australian, so he plays American very, very well. But
I didn't know that.
He's got that kind of, young heartthrob type look where you're going to get a lot of young women who also showed up to see Zendaya in the Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland. They might finally start showing up to see a Superman movie where they wouldn't show up before. And, when we talk about a young Superman, he's still someone who's, I think, 26?
I was about to say, I just looked that up. He was born in 97, so he's a young Superman too.
He's 25, but that's who I picked too.
25.
When I was looking at him, Jacob Elordi was my pick if I was going to do the fan cast.
So James Gunn, he loves to tweet when out of all the fan casting that's been happening right now, the one fan cast that he commented on, and he said, "I'm not announcing it until I say when I want to announce it." It was on a Jacob Elordi fan cast. And I was certain, okay, I like Jacob. He's my pick. But when James Gunn practically said, no, I won't tell you who it is, that was when I felt like, okay, clearly James Gunn also might pick this person, but he doesn't want to get he wants to either A, start the spin now, or B, get people to not think about it when he does decide to announce it. He doesn't want it to come out until he's ready to tell you himself.
Yeah.
So he's trying to get ahead of the curve on the rumor. But nonetheless, whoever he picks, I feel bad for them. They're going to get the worst amount of hate in their life for no reason other than this because they're replacing.
Yeah. Well, so did Pattinson. You just got to fucking deliver and it'll go away.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Unless you're from the Snyder camp, then you never go away because you're a fucking parasite, dude. All right, Maddie.
Good pick, man. I'm going to start off our Wonder Woman, and this is the one that gave me the biggest issue of who I want to go with. And even looking at this right now, I have somebody written down, and I'm not even going with that person. Because the person I'm choosing for my Wonder Woman is Zazie Beetz. Zazie Beetz is from Joker. She is from Domino. She is from Deadpool 2. She's played Domino. And she's young as well. So
I actually gave this a lot of thought. She actually crossed my board as well. I think she's an interesting pick for a Wonder Woman if you're going younger. I happen to go a little older, so it was a little weird, and I was having trouble fitting her in, and I ended up finding a much better choice for what I was building in my cast. But I do think Zazie Beetz is actually an interesting choice for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I think she can pull it off.
Excited to see a Wonder Woman movie. If I heard Zazie Beetz got cast as Wonder Woman, I would be so excited to see that movie.
I think Zazie Beetz
what they're gonna do
would be some awesome Amazonian type Themyscira. That type shit would be fucking awesome. So,
which I mean, to stem off
she's got great charisma.
That's funny because she's the one that I left off as well that I didn't write down that I was like, I might pivot to her. That's hilarious. So I'm on the same page with you, man, on that one.
Who did you write down?
My pick that I have written down is, I think it's Aiza Gonzalez. So she played Darlene
Oh yeah.
in Baby Driver, and she played Cam in the movie Ambulance.
Yeah.
The new Michael Bay movie. That's who I was gonna go with.
I honestly considered her as well. That's actually not a bad pick. It's just her accent. I mean, theoretically, we just went through it already. Gal Gadot has a very thick accent. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, going to another kind of, I don't want to use the word exotic because that can be taken the wrong way. But end of the day, someone who can, you know, she has that kind of, once again, international, you know, interest that we always kind of talk about with these types of movies. So I could totally see why Aiza Gonzalez might appeal. She's very beautiful, obviously, as well. You know, can't go wrong with that.
And that's why I went with Zazie Beetz as well, because I was like, you know what? I think the world's ready for a Black Wonder Woman as well.
That would be very cool.
Yeah, no, cool. I agree. I think that adds to it a little bit. That's cool.
You know how many movie producers would high five if they figured that out? Like, we can cast a Black woman as Wonder Woman, and like people would appreciate that. They'd be high fiving each other all the way to the bank.
Yep.
Man, how do we look at us doing something right by people?
Yep. I wanted to not ask, but whenever you guys get to your pick that was the hardest for you, please tell me, because I'm curious what was hardest pick for you guys.
Superman. I already got over my hump.
Oh, Superman was yours? Okay.
Yeah, I was struggling with Superman, but then once I like really decided on Henry, I felt okay with it.
Jordan, who is your Wonder Woman?
My Wonder Woman is Alicia Vikander from Tomb Raider, and she's also an Oscar winner. She, you know, my big thing with Wonder Woman is Zack Snyder's Justice League. The one compliment I love to give it is that I love his interpretation of Wonder Woman as this Tomb Raider, this lady who kind of can go down and find Greek artifacts and bring them back to light. And there's lots of villainous people who are trying to get that same power before, you know, Diana does. And I feel like Wonder Woman 84 was a big miss for me because it has this magic monkey paw item, but it gets lost in the melodrama instead of really just being an Indiana Jones adventure movie. And Alicia Vikander proved that she can do an Indiana Jones adventure movie when she did Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
She's 34. You know, she's actually younger than Gal Gadot, but she's the same age as Gal Gadot when she was casted. And it's one of those things where that really helped me choose my pick as well. Alicia, she's a very talented actress. You know, she's going to bring a performance. So hopefully, you know, it turns into a great action film with Alicia Vikander.
I like it. That was one actually that came out of my radar as well when I was looking at 34 or 30 younger people for Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman is very tough.
Yeah, it is tough. It is a tough one. Wonder Woman is tough. It gave me, like I said, I was back and forth. I had Zazie Beetz as well. But my official pick, I have Elodie Young, who is Elektra from the new Daredevil series.
Ah, okay.
Oh, wow.
That's where you'd know her from. I know Maddie hasn't seen Daredevil, but she plays. Yeah. That's the big thing. She was also in G.I. Joe, and she's in, you know, a bunch of other movies. She's working. But yeah, I think she would be able to transition Wonder Woman very well. And she is more of the Gal Gadot where she's like not straight up like American. She's, you know, she's just a little bit more ethnicity to her. Which again, for Wonder Woman, I don't think hurts at all. So I'm cool with it.
No, it doesn't at all.
And then you pair it with your Henry Golding and your John Hamm.
Correct. Like, exactly.
You got some flavor, you know.
Yeah. We got the white rich guy. We got Batman. So like, yeah, I think she will work pretty well. And again, she's in the same exact age range. She's like 38 or something like that. So she's right. All my guys are right in the 30s where they could play in that late 20s to 30 range. Other than 41. John Hamm being. Oh, well, that's even older. But she looks younger. She looks way younger. So, like I said, she could play 35 any day. So, like,
yeah.
So. And she's taller too. That was my big thing, was trying to cast. Yeah. That's why I kind of shied away from Zazie Beetz, because she's like one of the shorter actresses I was looking at, and I was like, I kind of want Wonder Woman to be a little taller, because she's like, you know, Amazonian. I mean, again, you can get rid of that easily, but she was like 5'10" or 5'11", so it's pretty tall. So,
all right.
So I think the next one is Green Lantern. Burke already, you know, kind of said it out loud, but I think Jon Stewart's the best pick for a Green Lantern. You know, we got to give more credit to the Justice League animated series for popularizing the team in the modern era. There's a lot of people right now who are the exact age range for this demographic of who they're trying to sell tickets to, and they grew up on that cartoon. And when they have an expectation of what they expect to see of the Justice League, they think of that cartoon. And Jon Stewart's my Green Lantern. You know, I never grew up with Hal Jordan. When I started reading comic books, Hal Jordan was dead after being an evil Parallax. And that was my interpretation of Hal Jordan. He was the Green Lantern who turned evil. So for me, Jon Stewart is my Green Lantern, and my pick has to be a guy who can, bring some star power to, this new generation. And for me, it's John David Washington. I think John David Washington is at that perfect place right now in his career where he can pick any role and he elevates the material.
Mm-hmm.
He's been trusted by the best directors in Hollywood, from Spike Lee to Christopher Nolan with their, projects. And I think he's the kind of guy where whether he wants to rock that 70s afro like Black Klansman and do an old school kind of John, like from the comics from when he first was debuted, or if he wanted to go military cut and be like a military badass like he was in Tenet, I would believe either one. And that gets me very excited. But honestly, if they are doing a Green Lantern movie, I expect to see both Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. Like, I don't expect it to just be one or the other. I expect multiple Green Lanterns. If they
That's where they've been fucking themselves with Green Lantern movies, is trying to contain it to one. You need to get the whole Lantern Corps in there, man. That's how that's the only way to be like, oh, Green Lantern's actually badass. Like, that's the only way to do it, is you got to get the mix of characters in there.
I
always love that idea.
I love that pick. I was if I would have went a little bit older, that is who I was going to pick. But
he's a great guy.
Yeah, I fucking loved his performance in Tenet. I heard he's done great in Black Klansman. I still haven't seen it, but yeah.
When he's allowed to have charisma, he's really great. When he's allowed to just be a charisma, I can't stand when we get these movies like Black Adam or like Gemini Man with Will Smith, where we ask the most charismatic actors to be stone cold killers, And it's like, let them be jive, let them be fun, let them be exciting and smarky, let's have fun with the characters. And I feel like he would have fun, where Jon Stewart really is a character, when you look at how he's usually written, he's pretty cold. He's got that military kind of demeanor, but he would bring some charisma to the military demeanor, which would, golly, that, Green Lantern Corps needs.
I also went Jon Stewart. He's my favorite Green Lantern by far. When you're talking as a whole Green Lantern, it's going to be a surprise probably to Jordan especially, but I'm going Aldous Hodge. I'm going Hawkman.
Wow.
He was actually my favorite part of Black Adam, even though I was like, we don't know why the fuck Hawkman is qualified and has Bruce Wayne money. Nothing is explained about his character, but his acting wise, I was like, he's solid. But I was like, but he's just wrong, because no one knows who the fuck Hawkman really is, unless you're really into Hawkman comics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you take that demeanor, and I've watched him in interviews and all that. He's very charismatic in a Jon Stewart way, where he has that way of saying things, and he has that he's got that black attitude, and that's what Jon Stewart has in a very good way. And Aldous has that in normal attitudes, where I was like, if you could tell him hey man, you can turn that up to 11 and you're gonna be Green Lantern, I think he would be. And he has a deeper voice, which I always associate with Jon Stewart. He has that deep
looks like he did voice a Green Lantern.
Oh, all right, there you go. And I didn't look that up. That's because I try to avoid that, because my Wonder Woman originally had played Wonder Woman, so I switched her. So I didn't look that up, but I think he would be a great Jon Stewart.
I'd still be interested to go watch that, to hear his voice. It's called Green Lantern Beware My Power.
And is he Jon Stewart?
Yes, he's Jon Stewart, 2022.
Cool. So there we go. I checked that out. But that's who I'm going to go with from Black Adam, straight out of Compton. He's in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So. Dude, he's been really earning it.
Yeah.
He's been earning it.
Yep. So I think he would do a more than adequate job, and he falls right in the age range that I was looking for to fit everybody else.
Say, Aldous Hodge is handsome as fuck too. I think that dude.
You give him some glowing green eyes, bro. Come on.
Yeah, man. For mine, I also went Jon Stewart, and since I'm going younger, I went with John Boyega. I chose Finn from the Star Wars series.
Great pick. I also, same thing. I think he's a great pick for Jon Stewart.
I think he has...
I love John Boyega.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I haven't gotten to see in his recent film. What is it?
Breaking.
Breaking.
Great
and
movie.
I heard he's fucking amazing in it. His range is crazy in his movies that he's done so far. I don't know if it's a typecast or people aren't ready for him yet. I love him in Attack the Block. I'm not sure if you've seen Attack the Block, but
it's a great movie.
Fucking awesome movie.
Yeah, good pick. Good pick.
Moving on now to
Barry Allen Flash, which is important because I cast it specifically for Barry, because there's a big difference between Barry and Wally in my mind.
Agree.
I picked, I don't even know if you guys are going to know who this is. Well, yeah, you might. Ryan Eggold. He's from the Blacklist and Black Klansman as well. He's a little older, but when he's deceivingly old because he always has a beard. But when you shave his beard off, he looks a lot younger, in the 30 range, which is where I even Googled. I was like, how old was Flash when he joined the Justice League? And they were like 28, according to sources. I was like, all right, he can pull off 30. And if you watch him in normal interviews, he's very intelligent and he's kind of like funny. Like he pokes jokes. Like he has that like Barry sense of humor where like he's not the jokester like Wally, but he also seems very intelligent in what he did. So again, it wouldn't be the youngest Flash you've ever seen. But I think his attitude and the look when he shaves his face is very much of a Barry Allen. And he has the charisma to easily pull off a Flash. And let's be honest, like the Flash doesn't have to have this like superhero body. We're all just looking for him to run fast, you know, at the end of the day.
I dig it.
We're going with it.
For my Barry Allen, I chose Timothée Chalamet.
Wow.
I think that he can play that nerdiness as well as, I mean, this Barry Allen may not have been the guy who works for the police department, who was working in that lab, who got hit by the lightning yet, but maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure how it plays out from his
You have
age.
a young cast, though, so that makes it, it all kind of makes sense. You have a really young cast, so, like, that makes sense for your, like, real young cast. It's set up
I feel like
really
he has a good body for the Flash, especially after watching the CW show and seeing Grant Gustin in that.
And so listeners who don't know, Timothée Chalamet played Paul in Dune, in the movie Dune, as well as the Dune that's coming out. He's playing Willy Wonka as well. Yep.
He's in the new movie Bones and All.
Don't Look Up.
Don't Look Up.
Don't Look Up.
He's in everything.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good in Don't Look Up.
He's very talented. I'm a fangirl for Timmy C.
Yeah, he's good.
So
Kid's good.
It's good. I might show up to your Justice League movie because Zazie Beetz and Timmy C in the same movie. Like, come on now. Like, we got to find out what's going on. There's some chemistry in there somewhere.
And then
Barry Allen. So Jordan,
who do you have your Barry?
Oh, it's my turn. So my pick for Barry Allen, you know, this one was actually a little tough for me. My real hard one was Aquaman. I had the hardest time with Aquaman. But this one, as soon as you said Barry Allen, I thought I knew exactly who I would pick, and that was Jeremy Allen White from Shameless and The Bear. He's made a lot of his fame.
It's actually
TV.
a really good pick.
But, you know, he's got a superhero body right now. My guy looks chiseled on a television show about cooking. So if he looks chiseled for, you know, a chef, he can obviously show up, you know, on set.
It's actually a really good Barry pick.
I like it too.
And
that's a really good Barry pick. I wish I would have had that. He would have been perfect in my age range. Good pick, Jordan.
Because you know he's got a motor mouth for lip. You know.
I know. That's why I love him as lip. That's
mouth.
why instantly I'm like, fuck, dude, that's a great Barry. That's a good Barry pick.
Ezra Miller, when he plays Barry Allen, I get annoyed. If I imagine Jeremy Allen White doing the same motor mouth thing, I imagine it as like lip service.
Correct.
Which
and
is
it's just like Lip
sarcastic and fun.
Lip was the smartest dude and knew that he was smarter than you, but like it didn't want to have to fucking spend his time explaining that, whereas like Ezra Miller relishes in his time of explaining that. It's a very good cast for Barry. That's a good,
very different.
I just
like that a lot,
IMDb. Dude. They have some stills of him as the bear, and if you're that jacked in a kitchen, holy shit.
My guy looks
he's got like muscles popping out his eye, or veins popping out his arm.
Good pick, Jordan.
Yeah.
I want more gravitas. That's the only thing I really want from these next, you know, age of movies. Like I want serious actors that, like, you know, when I watch the Batman, I feel like I'm watching a real movie. I'm not watching some CGI.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You know?
I think that's where DC can edge out Marvel. We spoke on the side about it, but I think DC really can gain ground on Marvel if they stick tried and true to what they were trying to do in this, but they just kind of fucking royally fucked it up. Of being more grounded, being a little more dramatic, and a little bit more like actual cinema.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to dethrone Marvel unless you beat them to a fucking Oscar. If DC starts making Oscar-winning movies and now superhero movies are seen on the level of cinema, not just in the special effects and sound categories like they have been for years, and all of a sudden fucking Superman is winning Best Picture, that's something Marvel's never going to really do. Because Marvel, the way Marvel is, like, yeah, you get Angela Bassett, you get people that are going to get nominated actors here and there, but Best Picture, Marvel's really not going to be able to do that because they would have already done it. And so DC has the chance to come in and like tell a real story. And again, it's got to be grittier and darker. I doubt they'll do it, but it's my hope of like, that's how they dethrone Marvel is like they got to go out and make they got to make the Scorsese's love superhero movies. Maddie, Arthur Curry, Aquaman himself.
So I decided to go with somebody that I know Tyler doesn't know. I'm not sure if you know him, Jordan. Oh, you would know him, Tyler. So Zolo Mariduena. He plays Miguel from Cobra Kai. And he also plays
Blue Beetle.
Jaime in the new Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
He is my choice for Aquaman. I'm not sure how this Blue Beetle series is going to go, but
no, that's out of the window. That's fair.
This is a fan cast.
Yeah,
so
correct. No, that's fair.
I'm going Hispanic for my Aquaman. He's also a young actor, so that's who I wanted to go with. I think he could pull it off.
I love him in Cobra Kai. I think that's a fantastic pick. There's nothing more frustrating than when they have a great actor in a measly role in one of these movies. That gets me excited to see like him as Aquaman. I would want to see that.
And he can do it because he's got the athleticism from Cobra Kai to do all of everything. So
I Blue Beetle, like I'm sneaky excited for no fucking reason, and I know it's gonna break my heart, but same boat. I don't know why, but I'm kind of got my eye open for Blue Beetle.
When we find out Blue Beetle takes place on Earth 2, and that's how everybody's
here we go.
Yep, for real. Blue Beetle is somehow jumping through portals now. He's going through the multidimensional universe in part 2 with Booster Gold. Yep. You do a Booster Gold Blue Beetle movie in 2 where they get to our universe.
I'm down,
all right, dude. Before we go down the Blue Beetle fucking rabbit hole, Jordan, let's hear it.
Oh yeah, this was Aquaman. My hardest pick. Honestly, Jason Momoa, he's the worst version of Aquaman I could ever ask for, and he's also the best possible actor. So I personally had a really hard time trying to pick the next Aquaman because you can't really picture a lot of people succeeding after Jason Momoa because it's such a tough situation to be in. But there's one guy who really won me over. So I'm going to go with the most standard white blonde version of Aquaman I can find, and that's Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell from Top Gun and then a movie Devotion.
Yeah.
He was my runner-up for this pick.
Good pick. I like that.
He's got the perfect smile. He's got the look. And I feel like he could play the perfect amount of just like asshole enough that Aquaman really needs to be. Aquaman is an asshole.
He'd be a good Arthur.
Because he's king of the sea. Yeah. You know, like I don't have your land problems. Yep. I am to be respected.
I'm a big Glenn Powell guy right now. I like him a lot, and I just do. I really like his vibe and his roles recently. Again, he was my runner up, but this is a weird pick, but after thinking more about it, I love it. I'm going Jared Kiso, which a lot of people probably won't know who the fuck that is. He's Wayne from Letterkenny. Which even Letterkenny, a lot of people don't know what it is because it's like a Canadian show.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, wow.
He's huge. He's like a actual farm boy ex-hockey player dude, and he plays this other guy in the show, Shorzy, who's like this jacked like hockey guy, but he doesn't ever reveal his face, so he like double characters it. So he's got like the body and build, and he's also like, he doesn't have to have his crazy Canadian accent. Like he's an actor. He can do like a normal, he's from Canada, but he can do like normal voices. And he's played like some serious roles like in TV when he was trying to become like a real actor and it wasn't working. And then he like started this sitcom as like a joke kind of thing. And then it just caught fire on the internet and he landed a TV show. So now he's like a comedy guy, quote unquote. But like, he's actually pretty intimidating. And I think you throw a beard on him and you got some like badass Arthur Curry hook with the hand, like longer hair, off the wall pick.
Great. Yeah.
But I think as Aquaman, as a character no one really knows anything about really anyways, I think he'd end up in
a lighthouse.
Correct. Exactly. He looks like he's from Maine. He looks like he's from where Aquaman would grow up.
See that guy on a lobster boat.
Correct.
See him on a lobster boat.
Correct. That's exactly how I got the vibe. So that will be my Aquaman / Arthur Curry, Jared Kiso.
Jordan, so you're going to be going with the last person. So we decided to go with 7 people here, but we didn't establish who the 7th person was going to be. So you get to pick whoever you want to be your last member of the Justice League.
You know, this one was really, really tough for me because this one became my favorite pick after everything that I went through trying to figure out each one of these members. Because naturally, I would love to get rid of Aquaman. I don't think I want my next Justice League to have Aquaman. But then with this idea, like, okay, if I'm building this out and I want to have representation, I felt like I needed a second woman. Like I needed more than just Wonder Woman. And I really wanted like a hot girl. Like I said, I love that Justice League animated show.
Big Justice League member, yeah.
But I also love Martian Manhunter. Like I feel like Martian Manhunter is the Justice League character. Like he is the one character that belongs to the Justice League. And there's a reason why he's in Zack Snyder's Justice League, before being the intern, because like he is the Justice League character. So I found myself like, who do I pick in this battle between these two great characters? And I found a perfect medium, and she's become one of my new favorite actors. From X and Pearl, I'm picking Mia Goth to be Miss Martian.
Yeah, I knew you would go Miss Martian style.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Miss Martian.
There's some Teen Titan fuckery, but I'll take it. I'll accept it.
I think
I like it.
Here's why it's going to be real fuckery, because in my dream world, Miss Martian is the nice alien that crash lands, and then the first villain in the Justice League movie is John Johns, and John Johns turns by the end of the movie, and thus you have Miss Martian and Martian Manhunter. But she's the one who's the good one that starts the narrative. That's my dream kind of situation.
That's fair. That's fair. FANcast, we'll let it fly. I'm not going to beat you up about it. I'll take it.
Mia Goth. She's also got no eyebrows, and no eyebrows makes her look like an alien.
That's a perfect alien.
That's a perfect alien.
That's funny.
I like it. Mia Goth's doing good, big shit right now, so I dig it.
Yeah.
Another actress blowing up. I went Martian Manhunter. I had to. Okay. He's probably, if not one of my favorite members of the Justice League, because again, I just think he's the pillar of the Justice League when it all comes down to it and shit hits the fan. Even though, like Superman, he's got a dumb weakness. It's all right. We're working through it.
Superman says Martian Manhunter is the most powerful member of the league.
He is.
So, like, that's the quote from Superman. He always well, John's the most powerful one.
And he's got the coolest name, and he resides in Chicago, Illinois. Fun fact. Fun. I always remember reading that as a kid. That was like, that's fucking cool. People are from Gotham and Silver City. John Johns is hanging out in Chicago, dude.
Nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm going with a favorite of mine. Another guy who's popped up in quite a few things, both in Marvel and DC, but we're going Digimon Husan or Husanu. What's the last name? How is it?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Blood Diamond, Constantine, fucking Shazam. Black Adam,
Guardians of the
Guardians.
Galaxy.
You know who I'm talking about. Never Back Down.
The Fisher King and Aquaman. He
correct.
Is
correct.
Superhero actor.
I'm going as him for my Martian Manhunter, John Johns. I think his speech pattern. He's got a great kind of speech pattern and a great deep voice. He also is someone too that I think you paint him green, does kind of look like an alien off the bat, where like he could easily kind of be like alienistic, and he's always in great shape. He's like, again, he's an older guy, but again, when you're an alien, your age to me means nothing. If you fit the role, you're good. You'll work it.
Especially covered in all the makeup.
That's what I'm saying. In CGI, whatever the fuck you end up doing, that's not my job. I'm just casting. So he's my pick, and I think he would absolutely murder it as John Johns.
He would.
I like it.
He would.
I like it.
Maddie, who's the wild card?
Okay, so my pick is also Martian Manhunter.
Nice. I respect it. I like how we all went Martian Manhunter side.
And I totally thought that you were going to steal mine, Tyler, from your pitch being Marvel. I'm going with Jonathan Majors as my Martian Manhunter.
Dude, Jonathan Majors was my runner-up on him, but the voice of Digimon I liked a little more. So I ended up hedging him out. But I was right there. But everyone knows on this show and this podcast, I've been arguably Jonathan Majors' biggest supporter. I've been trying to cast him as the fucking shark in Jaws right now. I'll put him in anything.
He could be anything.
Like, dude, I'm
really good.
Yeah, Jonathan Majors for people who don't know, he's Kang in Loki or He Who Remains, and then he's Kang in Ant-Man coming out. He's also going to be in Creed 3, and he looks fucking super jacked.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want a hug from him. I would like to grab that back because it looks great.
He's a great actor. Last Man in San Francisco, very underrated movie role for him. And I remember when I first saw that movie, and I was like, oh shit, that guy's gonna go places. What I didn't realize is they were gonna put him in everything in less than 3 years. Like,
yeah, his resume,
and he's killing
crazy.
It though. He's like he hasn't put out like a stinker yet where they're like, oh, here he is. Like, dude hasn't been exposed yet. He just keeps doing awesome, crazy shit. So
I don't think anybody saw Devotion, but even then, it's not because
I can't wait to see that.
Like a bad movie.
I want to see that. I know it just came out.
Yes,
I saw it was Glenn Powell and Jonathan Majors. I was like, yeah, those are the two dudes I'm into right now. Like, that's perfect.
in an airplane movie. Like, come on, like,
Correct. Yeah, coming off
movies.
Maverick, where I was like, all right, dude,
Yeah.
I could use some more fucking fighter jets in my life, dude. So
Coming off
good
Wolfhound,
pick, dude.
I'm
Yeah.
fiending.
Hey, in March coming out, Japan just
man.
released.
Yeah, I saw the poster.
Going international, baby.
That was our
Damn,
Justice
Maddie,
League.
I gotta say, usually I like to clown on you. You got a solid fucking draft, my guy.
Maddie, I'm going to see your movie.
That's a good fan cast.
Thursday night.
For the age, too. It's not easy to go younger. It's pretty fucking good, dude.
So you would go see this over the old Scooby-Doo cast where Scooby's dead?
That was a harder one to sell on me. I'm not gonna lie. That was one of the tougher fan casts.
Dude, Brendan Fraser.
It was so good, though.
Fred Jones.
But again, that's what's fun. It's fun. It is fun.
Fan casts are the best. This is why.
They're a blast.
That was
man.
cool. I think we all hit the mark pretty well, to be honest. Not just saying. Like, I think all of our casts kind of make sense with our movies.
Every single one of them would be a fantastic Justice League movie.
Oh, thanks, Sam.
yeah.
That's why she's the producer.
Yeah.
Keep
I'm
the
telling
spirits
you.
up.
Yeah, in the end, I believe that whatever they go with is going to be a mix of, hey, we know these people, but there's going to be a bunch of people actors we don't know in this world that's going to be coming out. But I think that we got some gold here, man. Like if James Gunn and Peter Safran are listening, just
Put
know
me in a
you heard it
movie.
here. You heard it here first.
I can tell you right now.
Call
for
me.
James Gunn's cast. It's Chris Pratt, Superman. Zoe Saldana,
Here we
Wonder
go.
Woman,
Here we
Dave
go.
Bautista, Martian Manhunter, Vin Diesel, Flash.
Stop.
Yep.
We shall see, because he has not made the announcement yet. As of the taping of this episode, we have not gotten the big January announcement that he even replied to the tweet of like, so no January announcement. He's like, oh no, January's not over. It's still only halfway over. Okay.
Right.
Now we're going to be looking, bro. And it still hasn't
Last
hit.
day of the
So
year.
we will see what that is.
Your next announcement is going to be like Michael Rooker as.
Well, that's what I said. Yeah, Michael Rucker's coming in no matter what. But I'm cool with that one. That's the one I'm
He's
cool with.
playing Darkseid. Michael Rooker's playing Darkseid.
Yep. So my idea was essentially because we casted the movies, obviously these are the characters we've kind of seen in the DCEU already as far as our cast that we picked, other than our alternate at the end. We subbed out like Cyborg, who for like, in our case, Martian Manhunter. Being a Justice League fan, and we're all DC guys, we know who's been in the Justice League and who are members of the Justice League who may not be the quote-unquote what you would make the movie Justice League on. So we were kind of talking about how we would do our ideal 7 Justice League members. So that could be down to the type of, what version of Green Lantern it is, whatever it is, who your ideal 7 Justice League members are. That's what we're going to just kind of cap it up with, instead of doing like a top 3 movies or something like we always do. I mean, I can start since I I can kick it off. We're going to have a Batman. We have Batman in my list. I'm going Wally West Flash. And to pair with Wally West Flash, I'm going with not my favorite Green Lantern, but I think the best Green Lantern in the Justice League when you pair him with the Flash, and that's Kyle Rayner. Kyle Rayner and Wally West are like a buddy cop duo. It's awesome. They're awesome. So that would be my first 3. We have Martian Manhunter, Wonder Woman. Throwing Wonder Woman in there, and I am giving it to Aquaman. My last pick's a little controversial because it's not Superman, it's Steel. I'm going Steel. When the time is taken off and Superman is kind of nowhere to be found or doing his thing, Steel kind of is the one that takes the mantle and is he's essentially like Tony Stark fucking Superman in a way. But I've always loved him in the Justice League, and to me, I like Superman, but I really don't in the comics, because he's always the end all be all of like, well, Superman's going to figure it out and defeat it and stronger unless someone has kryptonite. Then it's plan B. Whereas when he was removed, the Justice League has to kind of figure out new ways to beat these fucking crazy scenarios. And Steel was a Superman power without being Superman. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that would be my 7th member, which I think is the wild card in the bunch, is Steel instead of Superman. So Batman, Wally West, Kyle Rayner, Martian Manhunter, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Steel.
Those are good picks, Tyler.
Thank you.
I like them. Okay,
Absolutely.
so for mine, a lot of them are the same as who is normally in the Justice League, but I changed it up. But I'm going to go and hit my ones that are remaining the same. Martian Manhunter is in my 7. He's going to remain the same as he's always been. He's an alien. He kind of doesn't age. The other one that I have is Wonder Woman. It's going to be Diana. She's got a weird age range as well, so she just is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm throwing somebody in there who is not normally a Flash that people have seen. I'm going with Bart Allen. Bart Allen is the child or is the grandson of Barry Allen. So this is be a new Flash that people have never seen. Also going with a Green Lantern that's brand new. He was in a brand new comic, and his name is Dale. And he's almost like a squirrel, and he's almost like watching Rocket. Like when I'm reading him, I have Rocket Raccoon's in my head, his voice and everything. But it's a squirrel, and he's fucking hilarious. He's so good. It's such a good Green Lantern. My Superman, I'm going John Kent. I'm going for Kal-El's son, because I've loved the Superman run that they just did. Superman, son of Kal-El comic, phenomenal fucking writing.
Would you go with the real love interest part of it too? You know, obviously that the new
absolutely
Kent is bisexual, or is he gay in the comics?
He's gay in the comics. Yes.
Okay. Because I feel like
gay.
That's so important to his representation now. Like,
yes.
And I think that's one of those things where if you're going to do it, like the show, I think the show is finally tapping into one of the sons being gay. That's the thing. It's like if you're gonna adapt these characters, adapt them. You know, there's a reason why people like them. Like, do it all the way. Don't ignore certain things just because it's not politically correct or people don't like to talk about these types of things in movies.
I'm adding one that he was not in the Justice League for very long, and it's Grifter. So for people who don't know, Grifter's the guy who's got like a red bandana on his face. He's basically the Deadpool of DC. He's got a fucking smart mouth. He can heal himself. Great character. And then my last person is a Batman as well, but I'm not going with a typical Batman. I'm going with Jace Fox. Jace Fox is the son of Lucius Fox. So this is a black Batman.
Yeah, black Batman.
He's in the new comics. His suit's fucking awesome. He's got an awesome story because his dad, Lucius, isn't even aware that he's Batman. So who's this guy? Because in the suit, he his mouth is covered, so you can't tell what race he is. Eventually he takes it off, but he's a good Batman. I like him a lot.
Hell yeah. It sounds badass.
You got a squirrel Green Lantern, dude. For the furries.
He's so good. He's so good. He's so funny.
Something for everyone.
Represent, Tyler. Represent.
Representation. Squirrels are gonna be like, fuck yeah. Finally.
All right, Jay, let's hear it.
You know, honestly, I'll just say it plainly. My Justice League is the animated series Justice League. You know, that's my interpretation. But I didn't make a list of that because I think we all know those characters. We know Hawkwoman, we know Wally West, we know Jon Stewart. What I decided to do is my real dream movie that DC's never done, and they almost got close with it with Black Adam. I'm going to describe my perfect Justice Society of America movie.
Okay.
And I call it that because my perfect situation for a JSA is a JSA versus JLA movie. I've always felt like Justice Society of America needs, first of all, Wonder Woman to be the leader of the team. She was introduced on a team first as a Justice Society of America character. And I've always felt like that needs to come back in the comics. She needs to branch off from the Justice League because she's the one member who believes in killing and start a new team that is the Justice Society. And with that being her own team, she would have her own Flash, Jay Garrick, the original. She has her own Green Lantern, Alan Scott, the original.
Badass, she has by the way, too.
I personally love Shazam. You know, I've got a Shazam tattoo. It's one of those things where Black Adam, the way that he's been written is from those JSA comics by Jeff Johns. So I would love to see Shazam on that team. He would be the parallel to Superman. And then give me Hawkgirl, because Hawkgirl originally and Hawkman were Justice Society of America characters before they joined the Justice League. Lastly, Wildcat, my Batman parallel. Give me a Wildcat. I think he's the boxer, right? Ted. And the last one for me, I almost said Atom Smasher. You know, I love Atom Smasher, but they didn't give me the best Atom Smasher in Black Adam, so I'm going to go with a different character who's just as popular, the Atom. And the reason why I say the Atom is because the best Justice League movie that they have never done, and they maybe never will, is Identity Crisis. And Identity Crisis.
Oh, I was just letting you know that Wildcat Ted Grant, yes, heavyweight boxer.
Yes. I was going to say Ted Cord, and I knew that was Blue Beetle. And I was like, okay, it can't be Ted Cord. But yeah, identity crisis. I would love to see the Atom and his wife accidentally kill another member of the Justice League's family, and then everybody's trying to figure out what the hell happened.
Identity crisis is a good storyline.
So I would love a good Justice League murder mystery. So there's some really great stories out there that DC has barely tapped on. We'll see where it goes.
Only time will tell with what happens. But for now,
this month, what's going on?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hopefully by the time you've heard this episode, actually, James Gunn should have announced something off of his claim of something is being announced in January. So you should be listening to this point being like, these fucking idiots. They have no idea what has already came out and either changed their lives or made Tyler hit his head off a desk. So
and people don't realize the gestation process for these projects. Like, we're not going to see that Superman movie. He's already written the script, yes, but we're not going to see James Gunn's Superman until at least 2026.
Yeah, that's what's crazy too. Is the timetable on this shit is going to be. I mean, we're talking. It's
4 years. 4 years just to see the first project from him.
Correct.
We're gonna get 2 years of projects that are just things from the old regime still.
Replay watch.
So my read, I usually start off on the reads, is I hope I can get this to show you guys. I'm going to post this on the page though. So this is
very cool.
Batman Fortress. Now, this is done by Gary Whitta, who has written a lot for Star Wars, and it is illustrated by Derek Robertson. He illustrated for The Boys. And this is about an alien ship that comes to Earth, causes a blackout, and Gotham is going fucking crazy. So Batman's like, I gotta go tend to all this shit. And then I'll take care of, once I take care of Gotham, I could figure out what the fuck this alien ship is doing here. So he has the Justice League come and help him get everything under control on the entire world. When the Justice League goes to the alien ship to figure out what the fuck's going on, they take some of the Justice League members, kill one of them, and then we find out that why there's a global blackout is because they're searching for Kal-El. They're searching for Superman, who's been missing since the beginning of the story. There's a lot bigger things that are going on in this story, but it's an 8-issue run, and it just finished, and it was beautiful. It was a wonderful story. This is actually the storyline that introduced Dale, the Squirrel Green Lantern. So
this is why Maddie's plugging this dude. He's obsessed with Dale, the Green Lantern squirrel.
He's amazing. I hope we see more of him. But, it's called Batman Fortress. I believe the hardcover book of it comes out sometime at the end of February or beginning of March. So if you want to read this now, go pick up the single issues or wait for March.
Nice.
Batman Fortress.
Sounds really good.
As usual, I do not have a read, but I have a play. Couple things on the playlist, to be honest. Real quick. I finally jumped into Spider-Man Miles Morales because I beat Spider-Man 1. I 100%ed it. So we did Spider-Man Miles Morales, and it's awesome. I see why people are pissed because it is like glorified DLC 1,000%, but you feel like Miles. You feel completely different from Spider-Man, which was awesome. And like even when he swings and how he fights, everything's different. You feel like a different character. It's an awesome game. I can't wait for Spider-Man 2. So I was late to the party on that. Midnight Suns, as of now, when you're listening to this episode, the Deadpool DLC had been released. So you can go play that. New character, new missions, supposedly new story. Again, we're recording this early, so we haven't seen it. It comes out the 26th. So by the time you're listening to this, it's already out. You can get into that, which I know I've enjoyed immensely, and as well as Jordan has really actually liked it as well. And then something Maddie wanted to bring up that I also wanted to bring up, Hogwarts Legacy. It's around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. It is around the corner. A trailer has been released.
Yeah,
trailer's pretty cool.
It was really cool. I liked it a lot.
You're gonna get
for someone who's not a gamer, and I was watching this trailer, I was like, "This is fucking cool." Like you could, if I own systems and I played games, this is a game that I would get.
And I know there's a lot of like pushback, and it's a hot topic because of J.K. Rowling and her statements against like trans people and all that, which she's an idiot. The company that's made the game has came out recently to like be very public of like, we know what she said. We understand if you don't want to play this game because of the environment it is, but we made this game with 1,000% in mind of like, we want everyone to be inclusive in this game. So I have a feeling that this game is going to be like the Spider-Man route where like when they re-release Spider-Man, like now there's pride flags everywhere in New York and stuff. Like, so I have a feeling like they're going to go out of their way to make this Harry Potter feel extremely, extremely inclusive because of the creators' fucking quote unquote beliefs that are not.
This is
good.
a moment where you gotta try to separate the art from the artist.
And that's another thing. It's also a video game. Like it's correct. And it's not even something she wrote. It's not like she's writing it, So yeah, again, everyone's gonna have their personal decision, So I know there is a lot of people boycotting it, but I'm gonna be playing it. I'm playing. I'll be there. I'm gonna be playing. I'm excited.
And that comes out February 10th. So
yeah, right around the corner.
Right around the corner. Jinx.
I'm excited for the game. I'm very excited for the game. You see, this is where it's tough with life because it's like people love to come out of the woodwork saying X reason why this is not something you should play or why ever.
Right.
And most of us didn't say those things. Most of us don't have those opinions. So it's not like we share them just because we want to play a video game,
Right.
You just want to play a video game. It looks fucking
fun.
fun.
Yeah. Check the trailer out. The game comes out soon. It looks fucking awesome. So
yeah, I'm gonna play that movie. I'm gonna play that game like Bully, like Rockstar's Bully. I'm gonna be the wizard bully.
The Draco Malfoy of Hogwarts Legacy,
yes.
dude.
I'm gonna be Black Draco Malfoy.
I just hope I can walk through a room and someone says Happy Christmas to me. That's all I want. Happy Christmas.
I've wanted the sweater for years. I just want an
wool
ass sweater that makes me sweat and itch when I wear it. But I just want a Happy Christmas, Sam.
Watch.
I'm gonna talk about a show that a friend of ours, mutual friend of me and Burke, Andre Monaco. He is the assistant editor on a great show on AMC Plus right now called Mayfair Witches. Stars Alexandra Daddario. I love spooky witch content. I'm a Hocus Pocus fan, and I had an itching for a witch show, and it turns out it really scratched my itch. Jack Huston's also in the show. He plays a guy who, he's like the devil in Constantine. That's how kind of like he plays it. It's really, really fun. So I'm gonna give that a great shout out. Mayfair Witches.
So that's still airing too, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay.
And of course, every day I watch Father Stew on Netflix. Every morning I wake up, pray, and then I watch Father Stew on Netflix.
Good call.
So.
You don't even have to wake up in the morning and hit play because I think you just have it on.
It's just on a loop.
It's just on loop.
My alarm is the dun from Netflix.
So Sam and I recently watched Bullet Train.
Oh,
interesting.
I haven't watched it yet.
This is one that we went in with very low expectations and were very pleasantly surprised.
Nice.
The way that these characters interact. It was just the dialogue, I think, was just written so well. There's two characters who are assassins, and the way that they talk to each other is the same way. I've compared it a lot to Vincent and Jules from Pulp Fiction because they've been partners for so long, and you don't need that you don't need to see that backstory because the way that they're talking to each other is how people who've been working together for 15, 20 years talk to each other. And that's how, and these characters are played by Aaron Taylor Johnson. And then I can't remember the other dude's name.
He just got nominated. He just got nominated for an Oscar.
But
not for Bullet Train,
but no, it's the dialogue is so good. The way the story's told is fantastic. The action is good. So this is from the same dude who directed like John Wick and Atomic Blonde. So you're getting really good action in this movie, and
it was hilarious. It was entertaining. It still had that like what's next. They had it was fantastic. And then Brian Tyree Henry was one of the highlights of this movie. Like anytime you watch it, you'll never look at Thomas the Train again after you watch this movie. That's all I'll say about that. But you will never think of it the same way, and it's fantastic.
I know why you picked Zazie Beetz as Wonder Woman now. Because you just saw Zazie Beetz. Yeah, she just killed it in Bullet Train.
She was.
She's so brief, very briefly in it.
Very briefly. She does.
The way that the story is intertwined was just great. Because you're like, what the fuck are all these separate characters doing? And then it's finally shown to you, and
the trailer didn't tell you shit either. Like other than like you're on a train, assassins, people are like you get the gist. But again, the trailer because like again, I haven't seen it, and it's like you kind of know what you're getting into, but you also have no fucking idea what this movie's actually about.
No,
it's got a great twist ending.
Here's just another, action movie with Brad Pitt thrown into it.
Yeah, wonderful. It's on Netflix. So when you guys are done watching Father Stew, turn on Bullet Train?
I recently watched Smile.
Oh, really?
And yeah.
Scary as fuck, right?
I mean, good concept. I like movies of like characters losing it within themselves kind of thing. Detaching from reality, not really knowing who's crazy, who's not, that kind of thing. I love that in horror. My thing with this was, it felt to me like Paramount was like, hey, we should try to make an A24 type movie. And they were like, yeah, we could do that. And it was like bootleg A24. That's what it kind of felt like to me. Yeah, it just didn't, it had all the pieces that like it needed, but it just didn't hit on all of them. And there was some that were really like not as good as others. And I just think as the movie went on, it didn't get any better for me. Some of the acting was awesome and amazing. Some of the actor was not very good at all. Some of the writing was not very good at all. Some of the plot points, really, really cool. So there's like a lot of this and that, the whole kind of movie. I'm glad it made money. It's like the dude's like first big directorial debut. So like good for him. Not shitting on him at all. Like not trying to do that at all. Just of like how I feel. It just felt like kind of like a bootleg A24 for me. You know,
what gets me with horror films is usually disturbing imagery. And this movie delivers some disturbing scenes. Yeah. And that's why, for me, this was probably my favorite horror film of 2022. Like I did like things like The Black Phone, but there were a lot of questions that I had after Black Phone versus Smile. I didn't have as many questions. So I enjoyed Smile a bunch. It scared me. There were scenes that the fucking scene in the trailer that they show you, when I saw it in the movie, I still jumped. I was like,
what? The swinging head?
Yep, that scene. Yeah. I was like, fuck this, man. Like that scared the shit out of me.
But it wasn't terrible. Like there's a lot worse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry. My only note against the movie is that it follows. Like they did the exact same plot as It Follows.
Yeah. Correct. That was like my thing is like it felt so A24, but just didn't bring that like A24 kiss that like makes A24 like, this is what makes this story work. It had all the elements, but just not that final bow on it. So it just fell flat for me. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, again, it's worth a watch for sure. Like,
and that one's on Paramount Plus. So
correct.
If anybody's got Paramount Plus, check it out. Tyler, let everybody know what we got going on for the next episode now.
The next episodes, you guys get 2 back-to-back fun episodes. The next episode, we are going to do a draft again. We're going to do a draft. Me, Maddie, and Sam is coming back into the mix for this one. We are going to do a Valentine's Day themed draft. So much like our Christmas draft, although this time it's going to be interesting because we're going to have categories and we'll release them when we get a little closer so you guys kind of know what we're going to be doing. Categories that are themed around like Valentine's Day, love and stuff, but all of our drafts and stuff are still going to kind of be like movie related or things from movies type. We're going to still try to keep the movie tie-ins as our main thing. Maybe tip a pick of like what's your favorite love song from a movie, that kind of stuff. So it'll be fun. It'll be
favorite romantic comedy.
Correct. Like we'll do like things like that. It won't be, some will be broad, some will be a little bit more niche. That'll be a little bit more fun and abstract. So we'll have more information rolling out on that. So follow us on social media, which Sam will tell you how to get that. But that episode will come out February 14th on Valentine's Day.
That's right. And until then, like Tyler had said, Sam's going to let you guys know where you can hang out with us at.
Yes, we are most active on our Facebook page, so come follow us on there. We'll post everything from our read, play, watch. Maddie will let you know what comics we talked about, what movies, what games Tyler's playing. Please go follow that page, as well as our Twitter. So Facebook is just No Nerds Were Harmed. Twitter, we are at NNWH Pod. If you want to follow our personal accounts, you can find Maddie at the Matman22, myself at Samwise1227, and Tyler is Gambit the Goon. For more Gambit the goodness, you can go follow him at Gambit the Goon on Twitch.
I like that. I like that one.
Yeah, Gambit the goodness. See?
Put it on a t-shirt.
Bam. So go see him, what he's got going on Twitch. Maddie and I, especially me, I've been out of the gaming scene for a long time, so sometimes it's nice to just watch Tyler play some of these games. You can go on YouTube and find us as well. Maddie has done some awesome videos on there. So one, you can see what our faces look like, match our voices to our faces, see awesome gifs that he sneaks in there because those are always fun to laugh at. And if you're already listening to us, awesome. You know where to find us. Tell your friends about us. Tell your friends when you're done watching Father Stew. to come and then pop on No Nerds Were Harmed and listen to us talk about our DC FANcast.
Absolutely.
I will be the first to say thank you, Jordon, very much for joining us and fan casting with us. It was an absolute pleasure, my man.
Fuck yeah. It was a blast, man. So fun. It was great to meet you for the first time as well.
I'm a huge
We
fan
hear
of
your
podcasts.
name all the time. Now I know what your face looks like.
Same. And it's always appreciated. Every shout out's always appreciated. So it makes me immediately pause the podcast, explain exactly what the internal reference is between me and Bert, and then continue listening as a good listener, in silence. But I appreciate it every time, guys. I'm a huge fan of you guys, and I'm really, really excited to, hear the next few episodes throughout the rest of the year.
Perfect, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Thanks again for coming on. And that's all we got for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. See you next time. Until then, stay nerdy. I'm Maddie.
I'm Tyler. We'll catch you on the next one.